This is Volusia Today, a public information radio program brought to you by the County of Volusia. Here is your host, Kevin Captain.
Good morning and welcome to Volusia Today. I'm Kevin Captain and I'm joined by co-host David Hunt. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Volusia Today is made possible by our sponsors, the Daytona Beach International Airport, the Ocean Center, Volusia Recycles, and Votran Public Transportation. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Kevin. How's it going?
It's going good. Sorry, I don't have any hot dogs for you like Gary did.
Bummer. I was looking forward to it. I didn't eat breakfast. I was expecting hot dogs.
What's new and exciting in your world there, Dave?
Summer break for the kids is winding down, so just getting ready for the school year, start making preparations, getting a little early school shopping in, and just looking for things to do to finish out the summer strong, looking for some events. And the great news is in Volusia County, we have tons of events and opportunities to get involved with for all ages.
You know, speaking of events, we have with us this morning, we have Tim Riddle. He's the director of the Ocean Center. Morning, Tim.
Morning.
So, hey, let's start out talking about first of all, why don't you give us a little background on the Ocean Center so that everyone listening, they know what type of convention center it is, how long it's been here, and just give us the quick rundown.
You mentioned what type of venue it is, and it's a little complex because no pun intended. I get to that word.
Yeah, it is. There's a pun intended there.
It opened as a standalone arena in 1985, operated that way for years, and then they had the expansion in 2009 that added on the exhibit space, lots of meeting room space, and refurbished the ballroom space. And if you describe it now, you would the words we use is a convention and entertainment complex, because that's exactly what it is. It has a wide variety of space types and really something almost for everyone. And it's very we're very versatile and flexible because of that. We're not just an arena anymore. We can really have something that will suit almost anyone's need.
And your schedule is such that you guys have pretty much events all the time. Pretty
much, and we could talk about utilization a little bit later, but it's people, we get that question a lot.
Sure.
How busy are you? How many events are you really doing? And the fact is, a lot of our events in the last 3 weeks, we've had 2 huge religious youth rallies with 6,000 kids apiece for a week. And between those, we had Florida Roofing had their 100-year anniversary convention and trade show. It's the biggest trade show we've ever had in our exhibit hall.
Is that right?
Most locals probably didn't know that those 3 things, unless you noticed a bunch of kids walking around in colored T-shirts, beachside, you probably didn't really know that we were that slam. But 3 weeks straight, 7 days each of those events, back to back to back. But it's not things that are advertised to locals, because they're basically private events. They're very large, but they're private, and that's the way a lot of our events are. It's about half and half, public and private. So a lot goes on that people just may not be aware of. They may have a sense that beachside is busier and the sidewalks are crowded, but they may not know what is the genesis of that crowd, and it really is. A lot of them are Ocean Center related.
And on that fact, in a past career, I spent some time as a stagehand, and before I had that career, I didn't know what went into some of these more large-scale events. So can you just talk a little bit about what it takes to put on such an event, the time before?
And that gets into any discussion about utilization. I looked before coming just to see our fiscal year in September 30th, county, and our arena for this fiscal year had 185 days contracted. That's not our maintenance and setup and tear down. That's actual contracted days. So there's only 365 in a year, and I tell people in a community, every destination is unique. Daytona certainly is. Mm-hmm. We've got race weeks, we've got bike festivals, a big Jeep festival. So, and those are great for the community. Those do make it a little difficult to do convention and trade show type business because there's only so many hotel rooms, and those events really take all the most of the lodging component. So it's hard for us to book big things during those times because they are big events in and of themselves. But when you look at the 185 days, and the industry experts will tell you, we need about a third of the days to do the maintenance, the cleaning. That arena floor needs tender loving care, the riser seating systems, all those things have to be adjusted and tweaked and maintained. We need about a third of the days in a year for. So you take the 185, add 100 days for our own setup and tear down, then you're at 290 out of 365. Take out the race weeks and bike weeks, and you can see pretty pretty easily that you're getting down to, as far as practical occupancy, we are, we're not at 100%, but we're certainly at between 80 and 90
You're definitely
of
close.
the available days that we can book, because you cannot book any venue back to back to back year long with no space for turning or cleaning, or because it's just like your house. If you never paint or maintain anything around your house for a whole year, no mowing, no cleaning, imagine how your house would look. And it's the same way on a huge scale with a place like Ocean Center. We need those dark days between those events to do our necessary and required maintenance as well. So.
And I didn't even think, that never even entered my mind, was thinking about the other large-scale events, because you're nestled right down there in Daytona Beach, right next to the beach, all the big hotels, Daytona Lagoon. That never even crossed my mind that you actually have to, probably years in advance, prepare for these large events that are coming, because your events are so large that impact can really.
And those events, while we talk about in our world show days versus move in and move out. And those youth rallies I just mentioned, it ended yesterday, but they started taking everything down last night. They will work a solid, long day today. I know the production company had over 100 rigging points for the last 2 youth rallies we've had.
Wow.
That's 100 chain motors. Video boards, sound systems, lighting. It's amazing. And we talk about concerts sometimes. Well, we've had 12 in the last 2 weeks. They've just been private Christian religious concerts, So it's a wide variety of events and event types, and we just try to be as versatile as possible. We have space that is very versatile. We had a religious youth rally. 48 hours later, WWE wrestling ring in the same space. Then we turn it for the roofers and turn it again back to religious youth rally. So that's a type of diverse mix of events though that we do.
And I'm glad you clarified that how busy you really are from one event to the next, especially with the calendar days, because as you kind of mentioned, local residents may not necessarily understand really how busy the Ocean Center really is and how many events that we actually do have. I think sometimes there's a thought and a perception that, well, it's vacant, there's not a lot going on, but you've got a ton going on all the time. And you also, I understand, even throughout the pandemic and then post-pandemic, you had more events than other comparable convention centers as well.
Yeah, at one point coming out of the pandemic, we were the busiest convention center in Florida for several months. And I said at that time, being the busiest one in Florida may make you the busiest one in the nation. We didn't check that, but because so much of the nation was shut down. But really, I look today, we're going to do 134 events when we close the year September 30th. That's if we don't book anything else in those 2 months. And and we've got a sneaker expo this weekend. It wasn't booked a month ago. We've got the public participation, the wildlife corridor meeting,
right, that's
August
coming
13th.
Up. Yep.
It wasn't on our books 2 months ago. So things can, our calendar remains fluid at all times. And so there's a chance, but still 133 events, with most of those being multiple day, 4 to 6 days events. It's a good solid calendar.
Well, the other thing too that I think is important, you've got a tremendous sales staff. You've got I've been seeing a whole lot more marketing materials coming out. You have Kate Sark, she's a marketing manager, and really trying to push the local events so residents can still easily sign up and find out more information, and they can join for some of those events that are not private.
We do a lot of we still do a lot of local events as well. We have a 6-tiered booking policy, and I'll admit, the emphasis is on room nights and economic impact. That's what drives us. That's why the building was constructed, was to drive economic impact. So we do that with room nights, but that doesn't mean we may not contract a local event 3 years out if it's a single one-day event, because we can't afford to not have that week available 3 years out. But just in the month of August, we're doing a BCU fundraiser, August 13th that evening. Vince Carter Charity has a fundraising event this month as well. And so and then we've got those two what I call public participation type meetings with Tourism Development Council, Wildlife Corridor. So we mix in the local events, but they usually do get mixed into our ingredient bowl, if you will, and churned into the calendar, usually 6 months in or year in. So we value our local clients, and we're there for the locals as well. But in the priority matrix that we use to book. I mean, economic impact is number one, but that doesn't mean we don't want to cater to a lot of local events. Now, I will tell you, we don't advertise a lot locally because, again, it's our priority is reaching those people, those meeting planners who will bring thousands of hotel rooms, to our town for a week. But we do cherish the local events. They're part of what makes us go as well. And we love being the big community event center during emergencies, especially. We operate as a shelter. If we're able to operate within 24 hours after a hurricane passes, our doors are usually open and the Red Cross is there. And so we provide a vital function for the community from that standpoint. And we, that's important to us to be able to provide that service in that venue as part of Volusia County's network of emergency response as well. So.
Well, and I'll just throw out there too, for local events, for people who are interested, they can go to the Ocean Center website. They can go under the About Us, click the link, and then click on Ocean Center events and sign up, and you'll get Kate's emails and find out about local events.
You'll probably ask us to take you off if you're tired of hearing about anything going on at Ocean Center. But
there's
I went out there this morning,
things going on.
Actually took our little virtual tour. Hadn't taken it in a while, and of course I'm in that building every day. But when I see it online and take the camera tour, the SkyNav type tour, which anybody can do, I'm kind of cruising around thinking, man, it's a nice building. But
on that same thing,
it is.
You got the Echo. You got some beautiful art in the facility. It's state of the art. You look at it from the outside, it's just beautiful. You look at the front of it, it's a beautiful building. You get inside, and it matches the outside. It's just beautiful throughout. And
it's continual. Yeah, I will say we're continually getting better. It's an evolution. I mean, in the last couple of years, some what I would say non-sexy things. New roof on the arena. Ooh, nobody sees it.
But beachside, that's important.
It is. But we've also just put a new sound system in. Our arena sound is far improved over where it used to be. And and this month, starting in the next week, LED lighting project for both the arena and ballroom. All new LED lighting for that side of the complex. And then we've got a major renovation of the arena scheduled for another 2 or 3 years out. We've been doing sound, we're doing lights, but we're getting ready to redo both the upper and lower bow seating, which will be a major, and all the restrooms in the arena. So it's our 5-year forecast for capital projects is a robust 5-year plan as well. And with us, we're not going to close. So it's folding all that in among that calendar. In addition to the bookings, folding in construction and scheduling that is a challenge as well. But we never closed when we replaced all the air handlers in the arena. So we're continuing to. We want to keep it a first class amenity for both locals and our customers.
And I just want to jump back to something you'd mentioned before, the economic impact for the area. There's an economic impact study in the works.
Yeah, there's actually it's going to be a kind of a 3-phase study. First is economic impact. We haven't really had it, verified by third-party experts. So we're gonna get another real good snapshot of what that venue means in terms of what it generates for the community in terms of economic impact. Second part of that is a utilization and benchmarking. We believe our calendar is heavy. Calendars can be heavy, but they're not always qualitatively heavy sometimes. I'm not shooting at any other venue, but I will say, if I had a gun show every weekend or an expo like that may be okay for utilization, but is it bringing a lot to the community?
Right.
Is it generating hotel room nights? And that's when we think we've got a pretty good mix of those type of events, but most of ours have room nights attached to them. And the third part of that study is going to be a feasibility of expansion analysis as well. So kind of 3 parts to that study.
And that does that tie into that matrix you were talking about, that booking matrix, or the 6-tier approach to if somebody calls, or does that all tie together?
Well, in a sense, this group that's going to come to town, they work nationwide. We're also looking for recommendations. If they think we need to tweak our booking policy, or maybe offer an amenity that we're not offering now to be more competitive, we're open to those suggestions. Even our sales process, so everything's on the mat as to what we're willing to, hear about, look at, and while we think we're going to stack up well, we're open to suggestions that'll make us better as well. So
that's awesome.
We're talking with Tim Riddle, the director of the Ocean Center. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk with Tracy Mester from DeBary Hall. Stay with us.
Hello again. I'm Tom Sisko from Volusia County Emergency Management. On average, Florida has close to 3,500 cloud-to-ground lightning strikes per day and has 17 out of the top 30 cities in the country, making it the lightning capital of the United States. A Florida resident is more likely to get struck by lightning than attacked by a shark. In 2018, more people were killed in Florida by lightning than any other state. Take cover when you see the first signs of lightning. Remember, if thunder roars, go indoors.
I'm Will Roberts, your Volusia County tax collector. If you're like me, you don't want to wait in line. Many people are figuring out how to get around the line, but still get their vehicle registration. Here's how you do it. You can renew your tag online and either have your registration mailed to you, or you can walk in and pick it up through our express lane.
I renewed my tag online, and I'm here to pick it up.
All you have to do is log on to vctaxcollector.org/renew. That's vctaxcollector.org/renew. The online payment vendor charges a service fee for online renewals. The fees are listed at the bottom of the page. My office does not receive any portion of this fee. The next time you need to renew your tags, consider skipping the trip by renewing online at vctaxcollector.org/renew.
There's always something happening at Volusia County's Ocean Center. Visit oceancenter.com for upcoming events.
We're back. I'm Dave Hunt along with Kevin Captain. Sorry, Kevin. And you're listening to Volusia Today, a public information program brought to you by the County of Volusia.
No worries there, Dave. I have the goofiest last name as Captain, but I'll tell you, we have a brass plaque in our home. It's a nautical brass plaque, and it says, my husband might be the captain, but I've been appointed admiral. And guess who put that plaque up?
It couldn't have been you.
Exactly. So with us now is Tracy Mester. Tracy is the site manager of the DeBary Hall Historic Site. Good morning, Tracy.
Good morning.
It's so good to have you here. And hey, I've been to DeBary Hall, and I think one thing I try to tell people is it's one thing to go to the site and to check out the home of Frederick DeBary, but the other component of it is all the cool events that you guys have, and we just got to keep pushing that word out because there's so much that you and your team does. Tell us.
Well, we not only are we a historic site, we're an 18th century hunting estate that was built by a very wealthy champagne importer named Frederick DeBary, who chose the beautiful St. Johns River country to build this winter retreat. So we host tours there. You get to go in the theater. You start with a 15-minute movie on what it was like to travel down the St. Johns from Jacksonville to Enterprise, which the river actually flows north, but you're traveling down it. And then we have docents take you through the mansion, tell you the history of the home, the architecture, some local history as well. But then on top of that, we also keep that place hopping. We have lemonade lectures with just an array of different speakers. We have story time for little ones. We have line dancing. We have kayak tours. We have bike tours. We have trail talks. We have wildlife series. They just keep coming, just a variety of historic program throughout the year. And then we also coordinate the Echo Ranger program out of DeBary Hall Historic Site. So Lisa Perez, the education coordinator, runs that. It's a program for youth ages 6 to 11. They get to check out all the cool ecological, cultural, historic, and outdoor activities in Volusia County.
All those events, Dave, she didn't even look down at her notes.
She didn't look at that.
And take a breath.
And there's more. Like
and there's
there
more.
is.
You all are also an event venue.
Yes. We have a fully renovated stable, which is air conditioned. Everyone always asks that. We no longer keep farm animals in there. They actually took all of the floorboards out of the stable, took them outside, numbered them, refinished them, and then laid them back in the same order. Just gorgeous floor. So we rent it out for weddings, quinceañeros, big celebrations, and we also have a large pavilion on property that you can come and plan a family picnic, and then you're overlooking this beautiful historic property.
And that's not it, because you're also a trailhead for the Spring to Spring Trail. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. I'm very proud of the fact that we're a Trails Welcome Center. Imagine that you're riding your bike down the Spring to Spring Trail. You see the sign that says, DeBary Hall Welcome Center. You ride up Mansion. It's this tree-lined street, and then you come upon this beautiful 8,000 square foot Victorian mansion. You ride up our little side drive beside the mansion, and then you get to our Trails Welcome Center, where we have snacks and cold drinks and maps, and then we have an interactive trail map where you can come in, and we have docents who are very familiar with the trails who will show you where you are and where you're going. I mean, you can come and park at DeBary Hall and access 60 miles of finished trail. You can go to Beardsford, Blue Springs, Titusville, Edgewater. It's just unbelievable, how much you can access.
And I want to hit on that interactive trails map, because that is super cool, and that just shows how you can mix history and technology, and it kind of just works and meshes perfectly. It provides a lot of information. And then as far as technology goes, you all also offer virtual tours.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
We were so excited to get this opportunity to have the VR goggles. We thought at first we were going to use them more for folks who couldn't maybe access the second floor of the mansion, but now we've actually taken a direction. We're going to take them out to schools in the fall and do a little lesson with the kids, and then let them virtually tour the mansion and maybe do some sort of interactive scavenger hunt. So, come in, you're welcome to try them out.
The virtual tour is super cool, and he's here right with us in the studio, so I got to give him kudos.
Yes.
But Gary Daniels is one of our production coordinators, and he put that virtual tour together, and I got to say, it's like you're right there.
Yes.
It is
and
so
there's
cool.
some hidden little gems in there that he put as well, little surprises.
There are. I know what you're talking about. Yes, but you got to see it to pick them out.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So let me go back to the stable, because you mentioned people can have weddings in there and other events, and I've been in the stable. It's very up to date. It's very modern. Like you said, the floor is done. You have a PA system in there. You have large, clean ADA bathrooms. Yeah. I mean, you got everything you need for those events.
Yes, absolutely. And, I would like to get the word out there a little more. We do weddings probably maybe once a month, but the venue's there. It's for the people in Volusia County, and it's very reasonable. As far as venues go, it is very reasonable to rent the stable for a day.
So if you are looking for an event venue, the first question, I was getting married about a month ago, so I was calling around to venues, and my first question was, how many people can the venue hold?
We say no more than 100 to be comfortable, and a lot of people want a dance floor or a place for gifts and cakes. So I would say no more than 100.
It is absolutely beautiful. You'd be surprised if you are looking for an event venue. Make sure to check out DeBary Hall, because it is amazing.
Absolutely.
Well, the other thing I think that's so neat is you have the volunteers that you have are really, they are so knowledgeable with the history of Frederick DeBary and the site. How many docents do you have, and are you always looking for more volunteers?
Oh, we're always looking for more volunteers. We do have 5 paid docents who are on staff, so that there's always someone available to take you on a tour of the mansion. And they are so knowledgeable, not only about Frederick DeBary and the mansion itself, but the local history. They have really studied. And we also have volunteer docents who come, and they'll do tours as well. And they'll also help out for field trips, special events, and that kind of thing.
So I don't know if I'm the only one sitting here who doesn't actually know what docent means, but what does that word mean?
Well, a docent is basically a tour guide for a museum or historic site.
Okay.
But it's one that has particular, esoteric knowledge of that particular site, for example.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of history that goes back there. I mean, I think one of the other things that's neat is when you do the tour of the home and you get up to the second floor and you look out that window, you're looking west,
right?
And you can see a little bit of Lake Monroe, and and I would imagine then, of course, years ago you were looking over those citrus orchards.
Yes, and then you could see the river much clearer at that time, and we do have some photographs of that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is. And the other thing that I'll just note too is they have a section of the DeBary Hall where you can see into the wall and you can see the construction of the mansion back then. And they weren't like nominal 2x4s. They were solid cypress. I mean, those walls are thick.
Yes, that room that you can see the bones of the house is so fascinating. Seeing those huge cypress 2x4s is incredible, and they use the horsehair plaster. You can see that. It's really something.
You're kind of a historian yourself. We a while back, or you all had been doing this since the pandemic, but you do these weekly video segments that really just highlight history. You get together with Trey Hanna, do environmental things. You, Trey and Lisa all get together and kind of combine on these. We kind of hopped on board and have been helping lately, but can you tell us a little bit about these segments you film, what can be found in them, and then also where people can go to look at these?
Well, we started that during the pandemic because we're supposed to educate. That's what our main focus is. So Lisa and I were trying to figure out how we could continue to educate. And so we started filming these videos, first of the hall and the history and the different aspects of the historic site. And then we partnered, like you said, with Trey and Debbie in environmental because Volusia County has so much. So we started going to all the different parks and conservation lands and just kind of showcasing what they have. You know, they have bike trails and hiking trails, and you could go snorkeling, kayaking, boating, even mountain biking, which I didn't realize there were any mountains in Florida, but I actually tried it, and it was pretty awesome. So it's just kind of a marriage of the history and the ecological, and it's worked out great. And I would love to check it out if I'm going to a new place, see what they have.
You're listening to Volusia Today. We're going to take our last break, and when we come back, we'll close up the show with Tracy and Tim. Stay with us.
Airborne! Okay, why don't we go to the Marine Science Center? Yeah!
Are you looking for a new adventure? Come on down to the Marine Science Center in Ponce Inlet. Watch as our staff cares for sick and injured sea turtles. You can also explore our marine exhibits, touch some stingrays, visit our gift shop, and stroll through the Seabird Sanctuary. Afterward, you can visit the Ponce Inlet Lighthouse. The Marine Science Center is open every day but Monday.
Volusia County is a beautiful place to live, but if
we don't respect it, who will?
Litter is a problem, one that we can solve.
But it's going to take all of us working together.
What matters is that we all do our part.
Don't be a litter bug.
And pick up litter whenever you see it.
Every litter bit counts.
Keep Volusia beautiful.
You can access Volusia County government online at volusia.org. Listen to county council meetings, pay for permits or tags, or search the property appraisers' databases. Volusia.org is your Volusia County government information resource.
So, Tracy, real quick in the last few seconds, where can people get more information about DeBary Hall?
You can go to the DeBary Hall Facebook page or just go to www.volusia.org and look into DeBary Hall.
Thank you so much, Tracy from DeBary Hall and Tim from the Ocean Center. With that, we'll wrap up Volusia Today. Take care, stay safe, and help your neighbors.
If you have a comment about Volusia Today, or if there is a topic you would like to hear featured, please contact Volusia County Community Information at 1-866-345-0345.